what else? Mysterious Akavir. Have I read this? No. Alright, let's do Mysterious Akavir next. Akavir means Dragonland. Tamriel means Dawn's Beauty. Atmora means Elder Wood. Only the Redguards know what Yakuta ever meant. Akavir is the kingdom of beasts. No men or mare live in Akavir, though men once did. These men, however, were eaten long ago by the vampiric serpent folk of Sayesi. They had not been... it's pronounced Seichi. I always forget that. Had they not been eaten, these men would have eventually migrated to Tamriel. The Nords left Atmora for Tamriel. Before them, the Elves had abandoned Aldmeris for Tamriel. The Redguards destroyed Yakuta so they could make their journey. All men and mare know Tamriel is the nexus of creation, where the last war will happen, where the gods unmade Lorkhan and left their adamantine tower of secrets. Who knows what the Akaviri think of Tamriel, but ask yourself, why have they tried to invade it 3 times or more? There are 4 major nations of Akavir: Kamal, Saichi, Tangmo, and Kapotun. When they are not busy trying to invade Tamriel, they are fighting with each other. Kamal is snow hell. Demons live there, armies of them. Every summer they thaw out and invade Tangmo, but the brave monkey folk always drive them away. Once Adasum Dir Kamal, a king among demons, attempted to conquer Morrowind, but Almalexia and the Underking destroyed him at Red Mountain. Saichi is Snake Palace, once the strongest power in Akavir before the Tiger Dragon came. The serpent folk ate all the men of Akavir a long time ago, but still kind of look like them. They are tall, beautiful, if frightening, covered in golden scales, and immortal. They enslave the goblins of the surrounding isles, who provide labor and fresh blood. The holdings of Seichi are widespread. When natives of Tamriel think of the Akaviri, they think of the serpent folk, because one ruled the Cyrodiilic Empire for 400 years in the previous era. He was potentate Versidue Shea, assassinated by the Morag Tong. Tangmo is the Thousand Monkey Isles. There are many breeds of monkey folk, and they are all kind, brave, and simple, and many are also very crazy. They can raise armies when they must, for all of the other Akaviri nations have, at one time or another, tried to enslave them. They cannot decide who they hate more, the snakes or the demons, but ask one and he will probably say snakes. Though once bitter enemies, the monkey folk are now allies with the tiger folk of Kapotun. Kapotun is the Tiger Dragon's empire. The cat folk here are ruled by the divine Toshraka, the Tiger Dragon. They are now a very great empire, stronger than Seichi, though not at sea. After the serpent folk ate all the men, they tried to eat all the dragons. They managed to enslave the red dragons, but the black ones had fled to, then, Potun. A great war was raged, which left both the cats and the snakes weak, and the dragons all dead. Since that time, the cat folk have tried to become the dragons. Toshraka is the first to succeed. He is the largest dragon in the world, orange and black, and he has very many new ideas. First, Toshraka says, is that we kill all the vampire snakes. Then the Tiger Dragon Emperor wants to invade Tamriel. That will be a very dark day indeed. Can you guys imagine if the Elder Scrolls 6 ends up being about an Akaviri invasion? That would be so fucking sick, but I don't think that's where that game is going. Let's see, Mysterious Akavir. Let's put you there. Beautiful. And let's read one more. Why not? Perhaps The Rise and Fall of the Blades. Let's just double check I haven't read that. Nope. Okay, cool. Last book for the evening. The Rise and Fall of the Blades by Anonymous. There are many that still remember the Blades. There are fewer that can pass down their stories, their origins, and their downfall. My father could. In his proudest moments he said to me, "You keep secrets like the Blades." The Blades were good at keeping secrets. They didn't write down much. They passed information carefully between their spies in every province, to their elite members that protected the emperors. Even amongst their members they kept much secret. Most associate the Blades with their ceremonial Akaviri armor and curved longswords. One can trace the Blades back to the fiercest warriors of Akavir, the Dragon Guard. It was there that they, just as they would do in Tamriel, that they protected rulers in their kingdom. But recent discoveries show it to be much more than that. Many classic texts tell us of adventures to Akavir, known as the Dragonlands of the East. Many from Tamriel have attempted to conquer it, most famously Emperor Uriel V and his 10th Legion in 3rd Era 288, as documented in the Imperial Dispatch Disaster at Ionith. Dragons have long been legend in Akavir, and many believe that their brief appearance in Tamriel's history are those that escaped Akaviri, for it was there they were hunted and killed off by the Dragon Guard. The Dragon Guard would follow those that fled to Tamriel in the late First Era. Invading from the north, the Dragon Guard met not only dragons, but the men of Skyrim, who don't meet invasions with pitchers of meat. The Dragon Guard cut a path through Skyrim, and it was not until they were stopped by Herbane Cyrodiil during the battle at Pale Pass that the invasion came to an end. It was Herbane who united the human lands of Cyrodiil and defeated the Akaviri invaders. Herbane is one of the first documented and widely accepted of the mythic Dragonborn, those anointed by Akatosh and Alessia themselves. Born with the soul of a dragon is what his followers would say. Reports differ widely on the nature of the battle at Pale Pass, but the end result is the same, that the remaining Dragon Guard, upon hearing the voice of Herbane Cyrodiil, knelt and swore their lives to him, their conqueror and savior. Fragments from late First Era texts refer to the warriors dropping to their knees, saying, "We were not hunting," or "did not intend," author, rough translation, continuing, "We have been searching for you." They protected Herbane with their lives, as well as his descendants, as the Herbane dynasty ushered in Tamriel's Second Era. It was through these years that their reach extended, and their order grew to become the Blades. Their conquest of the dragons complete, they only sought to protect the Dragonborn, and through him, the Empire. They reached their height late during the Third Era under the rule of the Septim Emperors. Despite their numbers, they kept their secrecy. The most visible and well documented were the members who personally guarded the Emperor, still wearing the original Akaviri armor. But that was just the tip of the spear, for the Blades were a larger organization, stretching to every corner of Tamriel. These agents were of every race. They were merchants, thieves, craftsmen, mages, and warriors, all acting as spies, protecting the Empire as needed, and operating in secret. They often acted alone, but some fragments speak of them meeting at secret fortresses across the continent. The most famous being Cyrodiil's Cloud Ruler Temple, where they hung the swords of those slain protecting the Dragonborn. Other maps speak of Windscour Temple under the great expanse of Hammerfell's Alakir Desert, Skyhaven Temple in the mountains of Skyrim, and Storm Talon Temple east of Wayrest. They were known to have a Grand Master, who often lived amongst the people, unknown to others. The nature of their communications, meeting places, and missions were known only to a few elite members. The only two to know all were the Grand Master himself and the Chronicler, whose only job was to make sure the group's mission was never known but never lost. With the death of Uriel Septim VII and his son Martin, the Third Era came to a close with the Blades fortifying themselves deep within Cyrodiil's Cloud Ruler Temple, as they waited for a Dragonborn to return when they would be called upon again. The Empire of the Fourth Era no longer saw the Blades openly protecting it, or the Emperors. That role is now filled by the Penitus Oculatus, a purely imperial organization. But the Blades continued with their secret work, to watch for the Dragonborn and guard against future enemies. The Blades were among the first to see the signs that the Thalmor of the Eldmeri Dominion would not remain isolated within their borders forever. They could do what the Penitus Oculatus, servant to imperial policy, could not, and thus earned the lasting hatred of the Thalmor. The warnings of the Blades were proved right, as is well known to all. The great war between the Empire and the Thalmor consumed the Empire and nearly destroyed it. Emperor Titus Mede II eventually brokered peace with the Thalmor, but at a price many of us still bear. The reach and destructive nature of the Thalmor is known to many, authors note, in my family firsthand. They are not fools. They know early on that the Blades were an enemy. So they hunted them throughout the Great War. Some were killed defending their temples, others as they slept in their hideaways, alone. Some fought, some ran, some hid, but the Thalmor found them all. There are those that say the Blades still exist around us, in hiding from the Thalmor, waiting as if they had done time and time again, for a Dragonborn to return, for one to protect, for one to guide them. And that bitch is me. I am doing that. Oops, nope, didn't want to do that. Here we go. The rise and fall of the Blades. Alright, this bookshelf's almost full. Very nice. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, well, let's go and sleep for a bit. Get a good 8 hours. And now we're going to hit the road to Markarth. Sweet. You know what, Lydia? Do you want something stronger? Maybe we should outfit you with stronger armor. That might be nice. What do you want, huh? You want some heavy armor? Probably not that. Hmm. Don't really have a full set that I could give her that would make sense. I guess I have this. She's already wearing steel armor. It would make sense to give you Whiterun armor, I think. Since you're from here. Yeah, why not? Let's do that, and then we'll give you... What is the armor they wear? They wear the fur stuff, right? Fur guards boots, fur guards gauntlets. Yeah, and then we'll give you some jewelry. Let's see. Yeah, what about an amulet of Stendar? That makes sense. Since you're my protector and all. And we can give you... Let's give you a bandana to match your outfit. Maybe a ring. What kind of ring would you want? Nordic. Nordic silver ring. How about that? And how about... Excuse me. Type. Earrings. You want earrings? Those look like they might be cute. Yeah, let's do these. Alright, cool. And you know what? I'm gonna give you your own shield. Let's see, do you have a Whiterun shield? Yes, Whiterun shield. And let's give you a better weapon too. What do I got in reserve? Something that makes sense. Let's see, steel sword. Why is this here? This stuff shouldn't be here. I'll just take a steel sword. Actually, steel longsword. Yeah. Put that back. Okay, I don't know why I have my unique weapons put in the wrong spot, but that stuff's gonna go in here. Alright. How many spell soul gems do I have? Not a lot. But you know what? This is enough for now. We'll upgrade your stuff even more later, don't worry. Alright, so we're gonna go do this, and then we'll hit the road. Thankfully everyone's probably asleep in town, so it won't be a big deal. Are you coming? Okay. I'm doing this for you, you know. Hey, nice. Heimsker hasn't even started preaching yet. There we go. Now he starts.
As if Skyrim didn't have enough outsiders. Now we've got mercenaries from Hagravens.
Hopefully she wears this stuff. Doesn't just take it and is like, oh, I'm just going to keep it in my inventory. You never know with these NPCs, man. Okay, item. Let's see. Let's do the Whiterun Guard's armor first. We'll do fortify healing rate. Lesser soul gem. Yes, rename. Lydia's Whiterun Karas. Yes. Okay, and then we'll go to Fergard's Boots. Enchantment. Fortify Stamina. Lesser Soul Gem. Lydia's Boots. Yes. Fergard Gauntlets. Fortify Block, definitely. Lydia's Gauntlets. Wait. Hold on. They're not really gauntlets, they're gloves. Lydia's gloves. Lesser Soul Gem. Oh my god. Fuck. There we go. Let's see here. What else? Bandana. Enchantment. Guess none of this really applies, but... Okay, maybe we'll do something else. Where's the sword? Steel longsword. Enchantment. Fear. Huh. Sure. And then soul gem. Okay. Call it the House Carl's. Fear, sure. And what was the other thing? We had her shield. Yeah, here we go. Fortify block, obviously. Lydia's shield. Let's call it like the Breeze Home Bulwark. Yeah, here we go. And let's see, what else? There was these. Resist fire, sure. Lydia's earrings. Nordic silver ring. Let's say that fortifies healing rate. We'll call that Lydia's ring. And one more. None of this matters, so just like whatever. Lydia's bandana. Cool. Alright. Hey.
Still here.
Got a trade.
How can I serve you, my thane?
I hope you wear this stuff. Or else this was all for nothing. You take this. Yep, okay, you equipped that, that's good. Keep that, and you take this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you're not gonna wear that
Lead
stuff.
on. I've got your back. How can I serve you, my thane?
Okay, so you're not wearing that stuff.
You lead, I'll follow.
Don't I have something that does this? It's like part of a mod or whatever. Hmm. Dramatic objects. I thought there was like something I had related to this mod that did that, but apparently not.
You lead, I'll follow.
Oh well, I tried. At least she's wearing some of it. Whatever. I might have to download another mod for that stuff. But alright, let's hit the road to Markarth. At least I raised my enchanting skill a little bit, you know. It wasn't totally worthless, you know. So that's good, I guess.